afternoon, I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Midday News. The headlines. The UPND Alliance asked former Patriotic Front officials to surrender dubiously acquired properties to the state. President HH commits to fight gender inequalities. Join me with the Midday News in detail after this commercial.
Would you like to win some cool cash? Say no more. Stand a chance to win your share of 1 million kwacha. Simply make a transaction from your Zamtel mobile money account and you could be one of weekly winners of up to 10,000 kwacha. Be empowered with Zamtel mobile money. Dial *344# to activate your account. This promotion runs from 28th July to 31st October 2021. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
And now the media news in detail. A financial analyst, Mambo Hamundu, says the Anti-Corruption Commission, SEC, should clarify its statement made recently that it is investigating a former councillor who purchased a bank with all its assets worth 300 million kwacha, stating that a bank cannot be bought by an individual as the Banking and Service Act only allows an individual to own up to 25% shares in a bank. The Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC, recently came forward stating that it was investigating a former ward councillor who had purchased a bank with all its assets worth 300 million kwacha. However, the Bank of Zambia Tuesday debunked the claims, stating that it has no records of a bank being purchased by an individual, as procedure stipulated that all such purchases have to go through the Bank of Zambia, as it is the financial governing body in the country.
The Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC, is under scrutiny from stakeholders after its claims that a former ward councillor purchased a bank along with its assets worth about 300 million kwacha were debunked by the Bank of Zambia. ACC spokesperson Ms. Queen Chiwe made these statements on 15 September 2021 during a media address.
The ninth case involves a former ward councillor of Lusaka who's being investigated for the suspicious purchase of a named bank together with all its assets worth 300 million kwacha.
The Bank of Zambia, however, on 21 September 2021 denied the claims, stating that it had no application on record for the acquisition of a bank, as all such purchases have to go through the Bank of Zambia, being the body governing financial institutions in the country. This has placed the Anti-Corruption Commission in a position to explain, as a financial analyst, Mr. Mambo Hamawundu has further informed Camnet News that the Financial Services Act does not allow purchasing of a bank by an individual, but only allows someone to own shares of up to 25%.
It's an illegal transaction. It's a transaction which did not really happen from a Bank of Zambia perspective. But secondly, I think it's also important to mention that there is a possibility, and as a people I think we must distinguish between a building which houses a bank and a bank. It is possible to buy a building which houses a bank, or it is also possible to buy a building which is owned by a bank without really Bank of Zambia involvement. So from that perspective, I'm actually saying what Bank of Zambia said is a correct position. Bank of Zambia will get involved in transactions that involve the transfer of shares within a bank.
Meanwhile, stakeholders like the Governance, Elections, Advocacy, Research Services gears have been questioning the motive of the SEC in sharing such information, stating that this could be a public relations stunt to make a name for the Commission. The Zitukule Consortium, another civil society organization, has been calling for an overhaul at the SEC, alleging that it has not been effective in the fight against corruption. However, when wished for a comment, SEC spokesperson Ms. Queen Chiwe requested for a press query, which she did not respond to by broadcast time. Zipora Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Republican President Hakainde Hichilema has stated that government will embark on vigorous reforms aimed at lessening gender inequalities in the country. Speaking when delivering his maiden speech at the 76th United Nations General Assembly Tuesday in New York, the head of state notes that women continue to lag in areas such as accessing finances meant for economic activities as well as accessing education. President Hichilema, however, adds that the country can boast of few areas where women are excelling, such as the first ever appointment of a female Speaker of the National Assembly in the country's history. He has since pledged his commitment to ensure that women attend public office and contribute effectively to national development.
The call for gender equality is now a century-old struggle for women to participate equally with men in society as a whole. Despite realization that women's full and effective participation in all areas of life results in prosperity, women are still, however, involved less in public life and decision-making. It is important that we continue to demand for the promotion of gender equality while paying particular attention to the rights of women, children, girls included in there, and the rights of people living with disabilities. For us in Zambia, we will remain committed to the advancement and promotion of women's rights, and for the first time, Mr. President, in the history of our country, our new parliament has elected the first female Speaker of the National Assembly to preside over Zambia's supreme law-making organ of our government. I further wish to state, and I think this is important, with pride, that Zambia's Vice President, Republican Vice President, as well as the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly are both women in our country. We're very proud of that. Consistent with our commitment, Zambia is implementing various initiatives designed to harmonize the development, programming, and indeed implementation of economic empowerment efforts targeting women and the youth across the country.
United Party for National Development Alliance spokesperson Leslie Chikuse has given a former member of parliament a 7-day ultimatum in which they are to return public properties, failure to which the alliance will ensure that they are made to face the law. Addressing the media Monday, Mr. Chikuse has cited that alleged grabbing of half the land of the Kawata Skills Center, where he alleges that the former area member of parliament Given Lubinda turned it into a personal property during his tenure of office. Meanwhile, in a phone interview, Mr. Lubinda has dismissed allegations of illegally allocating himself the land.
Allegations of unlawful possessing of public property by individuals have been ongoing in the past government. After emerging victorious in the 12 August 2021 general elections, the United Party for National Development UPND promised the people of Zambia that the new government will ensure that all property illegally obtained is restored in the spirit of maintaining law and order. UPND Alliance spokesperson Mr. Leslie Chikuse has therefore called on former members of parliament who illegally acquired public property to make sure it is given back to the people of Zambia within a period of 7 days, failure to which they will be made to face the law. Addressing the media Wednesday, the UPND Alliance spokesperson has cited the Kawata Skills Center in Lusaka, alleging that half of it was illegally turned into personal land by the former area member of parliament, Mr. Given Lubinda.
In the name of the community, Kawata Skills Center, but putting the property in his own name as Given Lubinda Foundation, did acquire on behalf of the community a play park, property number 14726, a well-known play park which belongs to the community. Such properties of skills centers have become very important because these are the properties that could be used to begin to train youths, to be able to train the women into tailoring, welding, and so on. We are giving our brother and giving him a benefit of doubt that within the next 1 week, he must hand over that before we treat this as a criminal matter.
Mr. Lubinda has, however, decided to remain unresponsive over the allegations.
I don't respond to such flimsy allegations. I tell them that I don't respond to such flimsy allegations.
Meanwhile, UPND Alliance Secretary Mr. Kalubasi Muyemba has wondered why the police are not ensuring that political violence is completely stamped out in the country when they've been given room to operate freely. He adds that there is need to end lawlessness in the new era regardless of political affiliation. Zipporah Mushala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
United Party for National Development Kanyama Area Member of Parliament Monty Chinkuli has urged the Lusaka High Court to dismiss the petition in which losing Patriotic Front candidate Elizabeth Piri has petitioned high election, arguing that the petition was filed out of time. Ms. Piri has petitioned the election of Mr. Chinkuli, alleging electoral malpractice, bribery, violence, vote buying, among others. However, Mr. Chinkuli wants the court to dismiss the petition with cause because it was filed into court after 14 days in which it should have been filed as required by the law.
With more than 60 parliamentary petitions filed before the Lusaka High Court challenging the elections of different candidates, those that have been petitioned continue to argue that they were rightly elected as candidates. UPND Kanyama Area Member of Parliament Monty Chinkuli has told the Lusaka High Court answer to the petition where losing Patriotic Front candidate Elizabeth Piri is challenging election to dismiss the case, arguing that it was filed out of time. In response to the claims by Ms. Piri, the lawmaker states that the petition was filed 14 days after, hence it should be dismissed with cost. The petitioner, Ms. Piri, who is a former Kanyama Area Member of Parliament, lost the seat to Chinkuli in the just ended 12 August 2021 general election, and now she is alleging that there was electoral malpractices, among them bribery, violence, vote buying. In her affidavit in opposition filed on September 15, Ms. Piri stated that she was a candidate for the Kanyama constituency, having duly filed her nomination on May 17, 2021. She submits that she read what purports to be an affidavit in support of summons to dismiss the petition for being presented later than 14 days after the declaration of the result deposed by Chinkuli. Ms. Piri says that going by Chinkuli's exhibit, the time began to run on August 16, 2021 and ended on October 29, 2021, arguing that her petition was presented in time and ought to be determined on merit. Meanwhile, in an answer to the petition, the Electoral Commission of Zambia, which is the second respondent in the matter, says that during the course of the election period, it received no alarming notices regarding malpractice, and therefore the said election was validly conducted. Hence, the petition should be dismissed. The case continues. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Well, that news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Midday News, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. The UPND Alliance asks former PF officials to surrender dubiously acquired properties to the state. President HH commits to fight gender inequalities. Thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mzeya Sakaleji. Good afternoon.